Right. Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening for our European friends. I'm really excited about, having this webinar today on optimizing your content supply chain. And very excited to have Jenny Perry with us from Veeva. She is the Director of Commercial Content Strategy at Veeva. And I also have Chinmay, who's our solution architect, and he will do the demo for XpConnect as well. So with that, let me go to just briefly talk about who we are. Xpediant's been around for 22 years, and really, as you can see from our customer list, we were, across industries for the first decade or so. And then in the last about 10 years is when we started focusing in the med device and pharma and financial services space. That's kind of where we are. We have three global centers in India, Guatemala, and the US, and really focused in the MarTech stack, right? So with that, I am going to hand it over to Jenny. She's going to give us a view of the industry, kind of what they're seeing across many customers, and give us some sense of where we're headed.
Yeah,
That,
thank you.
all
Hi,
yours.
everyone. So I think, look, the concept of customer centricity is not new, right? A lot of you are probably very familiar with this, but what's interesting is now we're actually seeing there's data to back up that this works, right? We know that 74% of HCPs are feeling more confident in prescribing a product if they've had a great customer experience, and that's over a third of their decision making when they're looking at what product to prescribe for a customer. And then we know that content really even elevates that experience, especially digital content for the field. And when you're able to then connect that with other marketing channels, you're seeing a 23% increase in marketing effectiveness. So really understanding your customer and providing them with that great experience that feels tailored to them and coordinating that across channels is driving great script behavior for these companies. And when we think about Vault promo mats and Veeva Vault promo mats being a core part of this content supply chain across many customers, it really helps customers to better create, review, manage, and distribute compliant content at scale. With industry-leading review, approval capabilities, supporting companies that are trying to drive reuse and content ownership through things like claims and digital asset management, and then innovation like modular content, and lastly, compliant distribution, things like multi-channel or even Vault digital publishing. But for today's discussion, we really want to focus in on modular content and talk a bit about modular content with Vault promo mats and Xpediant. So modular content with Vault promo mats is about being able to strategically group together in a compliant way different assets, right? Text assets and images and things like that to accelerate your ability to deliver against that brand strategy and those brand objectives at scale. And that's the important part, being able to group these assets together so that you can use them for content creation across multiple channels or multiple markets, and then linking that to the approved final materials across all of these channel assets so that you have that traceability and even a more efficient review process with pre-approved pieces and groupings. Ultimately, this is customers that are using modular content. They're really using it to deliver variability of content and really get to these personalized customer experiences and get the variation and the amount of content necessary to deliver those experiences. And then our customers that are really finding success with this model are focused on a few key things or have learned a few key things along the way. Next slide, please. So I think if we look at what the industry has learned as they've been on this modular journey over the last couple of years, first, it's making sure that there's a really strong case for change and a group of champions to support the program across multiple areas of the business, including everybody, the brand, your agency partners, regulatory, medical, and legal. Second, really aligning the model to the business value that you're looking to achieve as an organization and the outcomes you're looking to drive, and using that to influence your operating model, your incentives, and really putting that structure in place to support this new way of working. Customers have realized the need to balance impact and effort. Personalization and content strategies create a need for more content than ever before, but making sure that you're balancing all of that effort to create, review, and approve this content with the right impact and effectiveness data, getting those feedback loops in place early before creating these overly complex or mature personalization strategies, and organizing modules and content in a way that really supports your brand strategy and planning framework so that you can drive that meaningful reuse. And lastly, clearly defining a process to support the longevity of modular content. I think this is an area where the customers that are seeing the most success have really been focused. And this is about having a model to actually use these modules in practice, in content, and in channels. That could be things like different authoring tools or processes with your agencies. And this is really where partners like Xpediant have helped our customers to turn these agnostic modules and connect them to an authoring tool like AEM. And so with that, I will hand it over so they can talk a bit more about how that works in practice.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for all that insight, really, because it's true. I think customers are facing many different challenges, and really, I'm trying to go to the next slide here. So give me a second. All right, here we go. So I think, like Jenny was saying, right? I mean, Veeva has a great tool on MLR and DIME capabilities, but to operationalize it, you need an authoring platform, and then really integration between those two tool sets to get the end-to-end content process to work seamlessly. Kind of that's where Xpediant comes in. And so this is just a quick thing to see where all of these different things happen. So let's kind of move to kind of our product set. So XpConnect platform is like the mothership that allows the by sync, both ways syncing capability and really integrating Veeva and AEM. Now, XP Generator, even though it's sold separately, it comes with the platform, and that is essentially used to automatically create PDFs, of whatever you are building in AEM. So that automatically generates it. You don't have to snag it and do all these manual things. That within seconds, it actually looks at your entire website and creates PDFs out of it. The XP Omnichannel framework is a set of AEM components and templates that essentially lets you use modular content and allows you to also build things in different channels. So whether you're building an IVA or an email or even banner ads, you can do all of that in one place and almost force reuse, right? So if you think about our design philosophy, right, it's always been simplify the MarTech stack, right? The power of one. And then put the content author at the center of the solution, because you've got a lot of different things going on, a lot of content, like Jenny talked about, that you need to go through across channels. And then at the end, really make Adobe and Veeva function as a seamless integrated ecosystem, right? So with that, I'm going to let Chinmay actually show you how this works, and then we can go back and round off next steps. That, Chinmay, all yours.
Thank you, Kusai. All right, let me start sharing my screen. Okay, I hope you're able to see my screen now. We spoke about what a content module is, what modular content entices, and also we spoke about different aspects of XpConnect platform, where Kusai mentioned about XP Generator, XpConnect, and XP Omnichannel. Now we will look everything in action now. So we will start with content module, but content module in Veeva is a combination of different atoms in it, where every atom could be a asset by itself. An asset could be an image or a video. At the same time, a reusable text and a claim as well, right? So all of these put together bring a context in it. And we will see how all those different atoms can be put together in AEM as a content management system using the XpConnect platform. While during this process, you will see XpConnect is the bridge between the AEM and Veeva Vault promo mats, which acts like which enables the bridge between both of the platforms and does a bidirectional sync for the individual molecules or the atoms to build a content module. Right. With that, I'll begin with the Veeva Vault promo mats, where you see I have an asset here, a component asset, which is in draft, and I will quickly do an approval on this. Now, every piece of content, you will go through the severe MLR, regressive MLR process, but for now, I'm going to take a shortcut and quickly approve this. Now you see that as soon as I approve, seamlessly in the background, XpConnect is downloading this asset into the respective AEM DAM. So right here, when I navigate back to AEM and refresh my page, you see the asset is right here downloaded, and it holds all the metadata on it, where it says, okay, this is approved for use, this is a version number, and all the metadata that you need to keep track of. And at the same time, it is seamless. Like it is asynchronously keeping track of the asset status in Veeva Vault promo mats. So if an asset is expired, it expires the asset in AEM as well. And you can perform various actions based on your content capabilities and your desired actions to keep control of the asset and where and how it appears on the content. So we'll come back to the asset at the end when we expire this and see what happens to it, right? Now, we have an approved asset, which is ready to be used in a content module. Let's switch to the content module builder in the content module in Veeva Vault promo mats. I have an A1C level reduced content module that talks about diabetes levels. So let me quickly edit this, add the new image that we just approved. Okay, we have the image here. That's the one that is approved for use. I'm going to add it and save this. Now we have the content module, which includes 2 claims here on the top, 2 images that we can be used. And we have created multiple combinations of Veeva Vault of the same content module in the Veeva Vault combinations feature, right? So let's now switch to AEM using the XpConnect platform and see how this single content module can be brought into a context using the reusable text and the claims and the assets on it. So there you go. So I am on the content module builder in here. This is out of the box installed when XpConnect is set up. Let me quickly search for the keyword A1C levels, and I find the content module that's associated with it. And you see the metadata is already showing up at every level of the asset. I'll choose a template, which I believe creates a good context for this combination of atoms. I have dragged and dropped an asset into the template here. Now these templates are created ahead and created once and used multiple times based on the layout. So this template allows you to create a layout, bringing in the atoms together. So we have a claim I've attached on that, and then an asset that we have used from the existing content module, and I say create. Now what we're doing here is we are creating an experience fragment in AEM that sits in that organized way inside the experience fragment UI. Now we have the experience fragment created in here. Let's see how it is looking. Okay, this is how the 2 atoms in the content module builder has come across to create a context of the content, right? So we'll try to use this experience fragment into multiple channels. I know Jenny and Kusai were mentioning about create once and publish everywhere, where we were talking about multiple channels. Of course, the modular content usage will have to be used on multiple channels. May the channels be an IVA or a website, or including an email template or a rep-triggered email template as well, right? So now let's see how we can use this single content module into multiple channels. Switching back, I'm showing here a content module. I'm sorry, a web page that has a placeholder where this content module can get into. So let me just this is the placeholder where I'll put that in. Now using XP Omnichannel here, we are able to author the content using in the multiple channels in the same content management system in AEM, right? So once you have the content ready, just let's take a look at it in the publish mode to make sure everything is looking good. Right here at this place is where an analytics event can be triggered as well that says, oh, there's a Google Analytics events, if you see at the bottom here, that says XP modular content has been viewed. So this keeps track of the content module ID that comes over from Veeva Vault, and that can do that can keep track of your content module from the beginning to the end of it. So we have the web page created and we are ready to send it over to Vault for the review. You can always choose the Vault here and then you start workflow. This XpConnect now will generate a screenshot of this, upload the PDF to Veeva Vault formats along with the distribution package, and will include the metadata as well. Now, let me quickly do that. The same thing, use it on an IVA. I've opened up an IVA slide here. I'm going to select it and save the content module. We see its content module is rendered. Let's quickly look at how it looks here. All right, it's looking good. I'm ready to send it over to Vault. I'll do the same thing here. The last use case that we had was to use the same content module inside an email template. We have a rep triggered email template ready to go here, which can also use the email fragment tokens as well, all the Veeva tokens that we can leverage. Save that in here. The same content module, if you've observed, has been used across in different channels and has also rendered differently on different channels as well. This is all possible through the XP Omnichannel framework, while at the same time, XpConnect identifies what is required for individual channels and uploads that over to Veeva Vault Promo Match. Now, when XpConnect uploads it over to Veeva Vault Promo Match, we will see that the content individual channels that we have uploaded get attached to the specific document type. So for example, the multi-channel slide we have uploaded in here is showed up as a multi-channel slide, and the content module is linked over so that you know when the reviewers review it, they already know that, oh, this content module has an indication on it. And at the same time, when you look at the web page, it's scrolling through, here's a screenshot of the web page, how it's looking. We have the content module image showing up. The content module is linked over here. And also the distribution package that is required is also included on this. I think that's all I had for the demo. Thank you. I'll hand it over to Kusaina.
Well, thank you so much. I think that was a really good introduction to kind of all the functionality that we have. Let me switch back. So what does it take to get there, right? So when we look at most of our customers today, they have content authoring being done by different agencies. They might even have a content authoring factory. They usually have a tech team that builds the AEM side of the house. They have some process optimization, and then we are taking them to this integration kind of stage where they're integrating with XpConnect to do the bidirectional syncing. Some of them are using it for different channels with XP Omnichannel and really aligning kind of the DAM as well. And of course, everybody, with the advent of AI, wants to move to kind of automating the whole process, right? So using modular content, the MLR submission automation, and just the whole production package automation as well. So really, the whole idea is to transform where you are to kind of a fully automated content supply chain, right, at the end. And that's really kind of where we are headed. And so how do we do this, really? So what we do is quickly get to a current state. And in my next slide, I'll talk about kind of the maturity curve model as well as one of the tools that we use to figure out, where you're at, because there may be things in the DAM that really needs to be aligned first, or that can be done in parallel. I think, Jenny alluded to the fact that, some customers either are, focusing too much, on the technology side, some of them are too much on the design side. So based on all of these parameters, we kind of figure out, what transformative initiatives you need to kind of look at, right? And then that informs kind of the starting point for the roadmap, right? One of the tools we use is the modular content maturity curve. It has 10 categories. And then this, we offer free of charge actually. So if you're interested, please send us a quick email or contact us through our website. And, we will quickly tell you kind of where you stand, whether you're early stage, limited scaling, and not only tell you what you need to go to, but like what level you are, the categories that you've already encountered or are using, right? So again, that's really all we have to talk about today. I'd love to get into Q&A. I had a few questions sent to me by email, so let me kind of cover those first. One of them was, does XpConnect work with AEM on the cloud? Absolutely. We worked very closely with Adobe before they launched the cloud, and we keep in tag with them, just like Veeva. With all the new capabilities they put out, we are working with their engineering teams at both companies to really put stuff out as soon as they release it to a general audience as well. The other question we get a lot is, what do we do with the DAM? What is the single source of truth? Is it Veeva? Is it AEM? Is it someplace else? Because a lot of times, since there are so many agencies at play, right? Sometimes assets are even lying with agencies and not in a particular DAM. And so I think for us, because we are agnostic to that, we are bi-directional, it doesn't really matter. But we've seen cases where customers have decided to go one way or the other or use both AEM DAM for certain things and Veeva DAM for others. So it really is a work in progress. The ideal state is to have a single source of truth, but we've seen variations of that really out there. But from an XpConnect perspective, it really doesn't matter. Other question we get a lot is the SSO. You're compatible with SSO configurations, and so with all our clients, they all use some form of SSO, and it works just fine. There's some configuration that needs to be done, and we do that for you. The other question we get is for XP Generator for complex websites. Where you have tabs. And then within tabs, you may have carousels, and there's a lot of kind of embedded complex websites. How does it handle that? And so we have a capability of putting JavaScript to do that, and that needs to be done only once. But we've also added some new functionality where XP Generator actually recognizes all the custom components, and so the whole task has become a lot easier. So I think those are all the questions we had. Again, thank you so much for being here. Again, if you have any inquiries, info@xpedientsolutions.com, and we're here to help. And have a great rest of the day. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.